to the haul-out list. Oh, how you ebb and flow like the tide, ever heavy on the mind. Governess of etiquette, structure incessantly hard to abide, hands lashed to time. Basically, the list keeps changing, and we have to adapt to the time and endurance we have. Signs of the season changing and workday shortening, we look ahead.
Just like this simple little bracket like that.
So there's your bowsprit right there.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's the same size as this.
Yeah.
We check in with Rolf again, our metal masher connoisseur, and talk about building the hardware for the bowsprit. More importantly, for our masts, which were on the haul-out list, but because the yard can step the masts in the water, we've pushed that project to a later date. Assessing things, weather, work in progress, and the such, we're 10 days out from relaunching. Do you think we can start and finish one more project? Days to paint the whole boat, reinstall our prop assembly, and fit and glue the cabin top planking. Yeah, let's do it. We've always worked better under the pressure of a deadline anyway. Garrett started with the border pieces, so they overlap the vertical seam of the cabin wall trim, then laid the king plank, to then alternate port and starboard from the center out. It's gonna go so fast that the planks are wider. You got a minute to tell us some of your decision making?
Yeah. Real quick. Alright. So yeah, you probably tell that most of this planking is flat sawn or kind of like rift sawn and what have you. But that is because this just like our deck planking is also all offcuts. So this is all the offcuts from when we milled up our bulwark planking. The way that we milled everything, we were left with just a ton of these strips that are 3/8 inches by 3 inches, and it's all really good wood. It's I mean, we selected a lot of good lumber for our bulwark planking, so even though it's flat sawn, it's all really tight grain, and there's a few little knots here and there. I really like this look. This looks like Workboat to me, and so I think it's super sexy in its own way. Deciding to do plywood and epoxy for the deck and the cabin top of this boat, you know, it's built to the plans. It's definitely strong enough, but there's a certain feeling of plywood and fiberglass when you walk on it rather than walking on like a traditionally planked deck, and it just seems a little bouncy to me. It just doesn't feel right on foot. So also this is going to add a lot of rigidity to the deck, or to the cabin top, and like I said, it's plenty strong enough, but just make it feel better. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there's like logic, practicality, sexiness is like here. Like, yeah, I never let practicality get in the way of achieving salty sexiness. So yes, it's wildly impractical to cover the entire boat in wood because it's a lot more to maintain, but I mean, what's the point if you don't, like, I enjoy doing the maintenance, so it's part of, I don't know, owning a wooden boat to me, and it's just, I like wood.
You are making quick work of the cabin top.
Hell
This
yeah.
is like just day 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday you did all the trim?
Yeah, So we got all the face pieces on like a couple of days ago and got those bedded, fastened in, and then I did the kind of like border trim pieces around yesterday, and now I'm just plugging away.
Alright, well don't let me stop you. If you've watched the episodes when we did the main deck planking, then you already know. But for those of you that don't, every screw is temporary and will be removed, filled with epoxy and wood bunged, after the planks are all glued down.
Hold on, it looks like I might be really lucky.
What?
I might kind of dry fit it and then just run a little line and then just knock a little bit off of the hand plane. But that's easy. Yeesh.
Been kind of lucky with that, haven't we?
Yeah, hopefully it's the same on the other side, because
Yeah.
I know that the cabin's not symmetrical. And now everyone else does too.
I don't know why, but Swab is loving Uncle Reed's boat. Must have the better blanket. Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna have to cut a notch out on this one. And then you're just gonna have to not look too closely.
That tickled. Like a dolphin, Red Aviva can survive out of the water if kept wet and in a favorable temperature. But if on land too long, their skin will dry out and they'll die. So we better wrap things up and unbeach this whale. Lots of rolls and plenty of paintbrushes and tape and 6 cans of red Rust-Oleum. So Garrett's cleaning up some of the tar squeeze out on the sheathing to topside kind of line, and then I'm gonna start slapping on some red paint. And Reed, right next door, is way up there. They're gonna be taking his mast off today. Should be an exciting day in the boatyard. Garrett reinstalled our prop assembly now that we've finished coating the inside of the shaft alley for worm protection, but then realized he forgot something.
Oh, that's helping. I'm really stoked that worked. So Garrett's been working on for probably the last like hour and a half, putting the prop shaft back in and sealing up the whole cutlass bearing stern housing stuff out here, and then realized on the inside that he forgot to put on the 2 collar pieces for the stuffing box. He was having a little bit of a moment because we thought we'd have to take this whole thing back off, and that would have been really lame. What's going on there, hobo?
When you're building a boat, you just can't have nice things. I mean, these were my nicest pants. Like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something, maybe a month ago. These were my nicest pants. I really like this jacket too. Somebody gave it to me. So over it.
Ready to finish this boat so we can stop being hobos.
Yeah.
And start living life.
Yeah. Definitely feeling it today. Just like so over being dirty all the time, and everything's always a mess because everything's in construction. We've had a lot of people ask us, like, how do you guys do this? What are you, rich? Or do you, you know, are you trust fund babies? Or, you know, how do you afford this? And the answer is we sacrifice all the comforts and conveniences of a normal life to do this shit. And it's worth it, but it sucks sometimes. And I need to shave. You need to shave too.
I know.
Hairy you are.
I'm going to be painting the port side, and Garrett wanted me to do the first coat, or really all the coats, with the brush so that it would be really nice and thick. But because the temperature is like warm, then cold, then warm, it like was sagging kind of weird, so I couldn't really make it very thick. And it took me a good amount of yesterday to do just the starboard side after all the prep and whatnot was done. So I think we're just gonna roll it now, because there's no sense in taking so long just to do a workboat finish anyway. So might as well cover more ground and use the roller. Yeah, the weather is kind of spotty clouds, and kind of just makes you feel sleepy. Getting into the winter months where the sun goes down about, I don't know, it's pretty much dark by like 5 o'clock now, so kind of shortens our work day. So we're trying to get up a little earlier and bang out the last little bit of projects that we've got to get the boat back in the water, hopefully next week.
All evened up.
maybe only like 3 more planks and maybe a corner plank back here where the cabin's a little wider. It's like almost gonna be exact. Yeah, look at that. That's like perfect.
I hope it's the same on the other side. But, oh my god. Look at that.
Whoa! Spacer's perfect. And then you'll just cut a little bit of an angle in this piece. Nice.
Well, it can't
Like
be
right there.
It can't be so perfect like the other side that I can just fit the spacer in.
But you're like 1/8 of an inch there.
It's just a little tight, but that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Right there.
Just shy.
Not bad there, Captain. I've been working on the final coats for our topside planking. This is day 3 of painting, and the starboard side now has 3 full coats. The transom has a nice thick coat, but we didn't need to sand it at all, so just the one is fine. And I've got 2 more to go on the port side because it's looking a little bit thin, but that'll bring the port side to 4 coats. But I think that's what's gonna make it look the best and match the other side. So while I've been working on that, down below, Garrett has been fitting planks for the cabin top, which is really exciting. He only has like, I think 6 more planks to finish out the cabin top. The whole cabin top dry fit in like 2 days. That's incredible.
Except for the last 2 pieces that I ran out of wood for. There's still a bunch more of it at your parents' house.
Look at that. Whoa. And 2 planks short.
What are you gonna do?
Back to the lumberyard.
Oh, it's gonna be sweet.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support if you can. Cheers!